Hello, 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 everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? This is Kenneth Overton, your host of Black Opera Live, sponsored by Black Opera Productions LLC. And that is the production company that is in current production for the documentary Black Opera, which hopefully we will be able to bring to you by the end of this year. We're so very, very excited. And I apologize for the short delay. There's some technical difficulties going on. That's just the world that we live in right now. So bear with me and us as we get Miss Mitchell all set and together. But a few things. This is the final Black Opera Live for Black History Month. And I am so glad that you all turned out in such large numbers over this month, from our conductors of the spiritual earlier this month to the incandescent Marvis Martin, to the composers last weekend, and to the four marvelous, gorgeous ladies of Glyndebourne on Monday night. I've had such a fantastic time this month celebrating these incredible artists who just happen to be incredible Black artists. And we're celebrating in Black History Month. I absolutely love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And about our guest today, listen, I am so very excited that she is here. She has been, I would say, my most requested guest of anybody. Like, I love all of my guests, but I have gotten so many text messages and emails and DMs. When are you going to have Leona Mitchell on? Why haven't you had Leona Mitchell on? When is she coming on? Did I miss her? Da, da, da. And it's like, okay, y'all, first of all, she has to agree to come on. And just so that you know, all the episodes that Black Opera Live has shown, I have chosen them. I have chosen the guests. I have reached out and asked my guests to come, and they have graciously said yes. And so that is amazing. And so finally, we were able to find a date, and she said yes. And so she's going to be here, and now she's here. And I hope I don't fanboy out too much, because she's just amazing. So I'm going to tell you a few things about her before we bring her on. Leona Mitchell, Grammy award-winning soprano. Leona Mitchell has emerged as one of America's most beloved and celebrated sopranos. Miss Mitchell spent 18 seasons, count them, y'all, 18 seasons as a leading spinto soprano at the Metropolitan Opera here in New York, where she essayed many dramatic and lyrical roles such as Aida, both Verdi Leonoras, La Forza del Destino and Il Trovatore, Manon in Manon Lescaut, Mimi in La Bohème, Amelia in Un ballo in Maschera, Cho-Cho-san in Madame Butterfly, Liu in Turandot, Madame Lidois in Les Dialogues du Carmelite, as well as her Mozart and Handelian roles. She has 3 DVDs with the famous 3 tenors: Ernani with Luciano Pavarotti, Turandot with Placido Domingo, and Carmen with Jose Carreras. Leona also made a film in Hollywood playing a diva in the film Yes, Giorgio, starring Luciano Pavarotti. Miss Mitchell has sung for 4 United States presidents: Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton. She also sang for George Bush Sr. when he was vice president. Leona has also sung at some of the world's most prestigious opera houses: Berlin, Rome, Barcelona, Spain, Caracalla, Vienna, Rio, Verona, Paris, Covent Garden, Frankfurt, Chile, Buenos Aires, Rio, Canada, Mexico, Los Angeles, Toronto, San Francisco, Geneva, Chicago, Cologne, Sydney, Australia, Philadelphia, Santa Fe, Edinburgh, Bordeaux, Marseille, Washington, Parma, and Hamburg, just to name a few. Leona Mitchell sang with also the most major symphonies across the world with some of the most incredible maestri, with the likes of Zubin Mehta with the New York Philharmonic, James Levine in the Chicago Symphony, Maestro Seiji Ozawa in the Boston Philharmonic, James Conlon in the London Phil, and Kurt Mazur with the Israeli Philharmonic. And with these orchestras, she performed such works as the Verdi Requiem, Mendelssohn's Elijah, and Brahms' Requiem. Miss Mitchell is a highly regarded recitalist and has been presented in concert at New York's Lincoln Center, the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts in Paris, Geneva, Sydney, Hong Kong, Japan, Tokyo, Spain, Korea, LA, Canada, Australia, the UCLA Concert Series, the Ambassador Oratorio, and all across the United States of America. Leona Mitchell is no stranger to television. She has appeared on The Merv Griffin Show, Good Morning America, the CBS Morning Show, The Dick Cavett Show, Jerry Lewis Telethon, the Kennedy Center Honors, the Metropolitan Opera Centennial Gala, the ABC Coast to Coast Gala Statue of Liberty Celebration, PBS specials, along with many live from Lincoln Center and Metropolitan Opera broadcast series. Miss Mitchell has been the recipient of many wonderful awards from her state of Oklahoma. She belongs to the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, the Jazz Hall of Fame, the Oklahoma Women's Hall of Fame, and recently the African American Hall of Fame. The Honorable Governor of Oklahoma, Brad Henry, made Leona the state's cultural ambassador in the year 2003. Leona has a Bachelor of Arts degree from OCU and 2 honorary doctorates, one from OU and the other from OCU. She also attended the master's program at the Juilliard School of Music. There is a museum and 2 streets named in her honor in her hometown of Enid, Oklahoma, the Leona Mitchell Southern Heights and Heritage Museum, Leona Mitchell Place, and Leona Mitchell Boulevard. Listen, folks, she's amazing. Incredible, and I absolutely adore her. So before we bring her in, as we fix her technical things down in Oklahoma, I'm gonna give you a little taste of the brilliance of Leona Mitchell.
Cadrò sul momento e al naturale. Mio tempo di non porti male, lasci di coscienza, io saprei la pizza. Parlami ancora come ti anzi parlavi, e così dolce il suon della tua voce. Unite di solo per infondere il tuo nome e vostre l'anima freme, il celestiale presenta l'amor. E l'anima va, già l'anima va all'estasi d'amor. Io mi rivelerò con me. Son pronto, seriamente, al primo colpo, giù. Negli ozzaggi innanzi occhi chiari, no, amore, e cadi qui, come la tosca in teatro, non ridi, così. Muoio, muoio. Su presto, andiamo. Su, su, muoio, muoio.
He's here. How are you?
Hello. I'm great.
Oh my!
I'm fantastic.
I am so excited that you are here, and I am so glad that you sent me that clip of Tosca because it is so exciting and so fantastic. Oh my gosh!
Oh, I love Tosca. I love Tosca. Yeah.
So
I
fantastic.
love them. Yeah.
And like I was telling everyone earlier in the intro, you have been my most requested guest of all time.
Oh my God. I'm so
Of all time.
honored. I'm so flattered.
People email me and
Oh,
text me and DM me, and I'm like, if y'all don't get off my nerves, if y'all
oh. How wonderful.
yes, but I
That's
have
so
to give
wonderful.
I have to give out a big shout out to Kathy Olson for connecting us. I love you, Kathy. Thank you so much for the
Man.
introduction to this great lady. My goodness. And I told my friends that I'm gonna try not to be too much of a fanboy today and be professional. But I want to ask you, do you know and can you feel how much you are loved?
I'm gonna have tear up. I didn't know. I went backstage in Porgy and Bess to see Latanya Moore and those that were singing the Porgy and Bess, and the love they showed me was overwhelming. And I said I was crying ugly tears because I was so amazed that love was there. Oh my God! But I didn't know that. No, I didn't. So
Wow. Well, I have to tell you, ever since I knew I wanted to be an opera singer, myself along with my friends, both in late high school and college, we would just sit and watch your videos over and over and over and over and over again.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you.
A breaker chef. Oh my goodness. How wonderful.
Hi, Stephanie Blythe. It's so good to see you.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
you're
wow.
so right, Lloyd. That also was so awesome. There's so much love coming at you right now in this chat room. I can barely keep up with all the comments. It's just.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
And you're right, Lloyd. She is so gorgeous. So gorgeous.
Oh.
Like I can't even. I can't get over it. Like you're here. You're here. The lady who VHS videos.
Oh my gosh.
I would pop the VHS videos in of Ernani and of Turandot and Carmen, and Karen Slack and Shannon Devine and I would watch them and rewind them and watch them again and rewind them and then rewind just your parts. And you were just the standard. You were the standard, like for real. You just are. Okay, so
wow, what a privilege.
Let me pull myself together, and so we can start this interview.
Oh,
Um, so, for those of us who don't know, will you tell us where you grew up and how first did classical music come into your life?
well, I grew up. I'm back in my hometown. It's Enid, Enid, Oklahoma. Population's around hovers around 50 to 60,000 people, so it's a small town. But in Oklahoma, it's a big town because there's not many people in Oklahoma. Period. But I came from a musical family, but in gospel music. I had my it's 50. I come from one of 15 children, and I'm the 10th child.
One of
And
15.
my yeah, yes, I have
Wow.
10 brothers and 4 sisters. And my dad was a minister, and my mom played the piano for the church. And so we grew up in the church and sang gospel music. So I was in my high school, and the lady, I was in the choir, and she heard my voice. I think a student said, Leona can sing that high note. And so then she heard me, and she went, oh my God. And she had wanted to be an opera singer. She was from Wales, but she didn't do it. So she took me under her wing. And the first two records that I heard was Leontyne Price and Leontyne Price and who is it? The very famous one. Um, Everybody loves her. Oh my God, I slipped out of my
Oh,
brain for a
Paula
minute.
or
Maria Callas. Maria
yes,
Callas. Yeah, those
yes.
I heard them do Aida. She wanted me at 17 to do this scene from Aida. And so she taught me the opera, and I listened and I went, wow, it's a whole nother world. And
Wow.
so then she drove me to my school, OCU. She said, you've got to go into music. I was going to go into I thought I wanted to be a diplomat. I was into history and that foreign languages. But anyway, so she redirected me, and they gave me a full scholarship. And so that's how I got started.
Wow. Amazing. Now, do any of your
Mm.
other siblings sing?
Oh yeah, I had they sang gospel music. They would call them musical Mitchells, and my dad had every instrument in our home, and they traveled around Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas, and they sang on radio and some kind of Mac hour and all of that. I said if my dad had come along a little later, he might could have had his Jackson 10 or something. But yeah, so
Wow.
we were
Amazing.
the choir. We were all involved. Yeah, yeah. So
What a choir. What a choir that is. Who is this?
because they
Marcia.
played instruments too. All
Uh-huh.
Weber.
Marcia Weber. I live
Oh,
in
see,
Eden. Oh, wow. Yes. And that's what,
wow,
that's what I
that's
hear.
wonderful.
I hear that all the time about you, that you're beautiful on the inside as well as the outside, and how wonderful of a person you are, and that speaks volumes, because everybody that talks about you with such love and reverence.
Well, I really appreciated that because I have tried to keep that part of myself from my religious background. In the end, I said, well, all of this fades away, and all of us fade away. So you have to be kind to people, and so they'll be kind to you. So that's what I've always kind of, that's been my
Yeah.
mantra.
Now, in your bio,
Mm.
it said that you also went to Juilliard. What was the choice that made you want to go there?
Well, I let me just say like this. I had done let's see, Porgy and Bess around the country, like in Los Angeles and the big centers, and I had maybe made a debut in Europe, but I hadn't done very much. So anyway, what made me let me see, what did you ask me, Ken? Because I'm just
About,
going
no,
off. What did
about
you
going
just
to
ask me? What made me
About going to Juilliard.
Oh, Julia. Okay, that's how this. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I was doing Porgy and Bess, so yeah, and I was a young singer, 23, and so I was asked to go to New York and audition because they were going to be doing some Porgy and Besses, and so as I was there, I auditioned for Juilliard, and then I got accepted right away. Between
Yeah.
those two things, I got accepted. And they wanted me to come in immediately and do Bohème. And
Uh-huh.
so they enrolled me in the school.
Wow.
And I got straight A's. I got straight A's that year. But yeah, I came in just to do the bohem, and it was a big stink because evidently they'd already had the cast set up, but then they moved me in that spot, and that was my.
Amazing.
It was a big deal. I didn't realize it. Yeah, it was a big. Neil Shikoff was my tenor, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was an amazing thing. Yeah, yeah.
So, can you tell us about the beginnings of you having a career, and what was that
Hmm.
experience like? And do you remember the moment or of your first big job once you were finished with school?
Hmm. Well, I went to. I was mesmerized, and I went to the San Francisco Maryland program just
Uh-huh.
out of college, and I won that competition, and then they sent me to that Maryland program, and so they put me in Swan Angelica and Donna Ana. I was doing those two parts, and so I was just excited, just terribly excited because it was, you know what? One thing though, Kenneth, I had in my university in undergrad, I had a chance to do over maybe about 4 or 5 operas, whereas you normally usually have to go to graduate school. But at OCU, my school, my alma mater, they had us in costumes and makeup. I was in there right away, though. In my first opera, I was in it that I knew about,
Yes,
and that
yes.
was Susanna and the Figaro. And so then I was getting accustomed to, yeah, to doing roles and things. I did uh, Angelica there, and the Fledermaus and that, and Ariadne, and so I was not unaccustomed to being on the stage. So, when I went to, yeah, to San Francisco, it was okay because I was just getting more education. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. And so in San Francisco,
Mhm.
San Francisco is probably one of my
Special.
favorite. It's
Mhm.
just special. It really is special.
Oh, isn't it?
Uh,
It is. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's where I got my.
they have a history of being sort of like the launching pad for people to have gigantic careers.
Especially black singers. They started with
Yes,
Leontyne,
yes,
and so they've had the
yeah,
door always open, which is a wonderful thing. Yeah,
always open,
wonderful
always,
thing.
yeah.
Hmm.
And so,
Hmm.
will you then take us to your Metropolitan Opera debut? What was it, and how far outside of Maryland
Hmm.
did it happen?
It happened 2 years later. After I did that debut at the Juilliard, I got quite a notice in the New York Times and places. And
Mhm.
so then I got a manager in New York at the Columbia Artists, Sam rest his soul. And so then when he started launching me, and because of San Francisco, I think I had made after that, I went and made a debut in Spain. I
Mhm.
did William Tell, Matilda, and
Aha.
William Tell just before my Met debut, the year before. And so I hadn't had all of this experience, but I had done Micaela with the San Francisco uh, spring program, and it was a producer there. He was at the Met. Richard Wazinski was his name, and a
Yes.
soprano had canceled, and so they asked, "Well, who can do that?" And so they said, "Well, Leona Mitchell can." And I'm laughing now because it's outrageous. It's outrageous. I just was from college, and they said, "Oh, she can do it." And mind you, it was with Placido and Regine Crespin. So these are all these seasoned artists, and then they're
Wow.
asking me to come in and do that. And I tell you what, that was amazing because I didn't see Placido till that night. I had never been on the stage. I had no rehearsal. I didn't know what it sounded like. I didn't know what the orchestra sounded like. I didn't know what the sets were on stage. And I went there and did my debut.
Amazing.
And it was, well, that started my whole thing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I was too green and stupid to know that if you didn't do well, they probably weren't going to ask you back. I didn't know. I was just green, just green. But I attribute my upbringing to being at OCU, and it was so professional. Having that little thing that it helped me so much in that situation. I
Yeah.
remember Placido came to me and said, "Aren't you afraid?" And I said, "No, I have to get out there and sing." Now I got afraid later once I knew what was going on, but at that point I was not. Yeah.
Right. And it was probably for the best that it was that way. You know, it,
Absolutely. Oh my God. Oh my God.
yeah.
People are
Um,
clawing and fighting to get there. I didn't know anything about that. Yeah, I didn't know anything
right.
about that. Oh,
What a blessing.
mm,
What a blessing. Um, so
absolutely.
you spent 18 seasons at the Met. That is incredible. Like,
Oh,
and
it was
in
amazing.
the breadth of the repertoire that you did. I read to the
Yeah,
audience all
yeah,
over the world,
amazing.
both Verdi Leonoras, Cho San, Mimi,
Mhm.
Aida, Amelia, Madame Lidouin, Liu, like all of these roles, and it speaks to. And I actually want you to speak to how were you handled and guided musically through all of that?
I had a trust in a coach that was in Los Angeles. His name was Ernest St. John Metz. I didn't move without him. I didn't do anything. I started with him at 22 years old. Who was it recommended that I went to him? The bass. He used to have a scholarship. Oh my God, I can't remember right now. But anyway, he suggested I go coach with this coach in Los Angeles after he'd heard me at the Met with Michaela. He thought I should go. So I went with Jack, and Jack, I he absolutely groomed me and taught me everything. And we went through all the repertory. I remember when I was going to do Butterfly for the first time, and he said, because I was doing lyric things at that time, I was doing
Hmm.
the as you say, the Mimis and the Laurettas and things like that. So
Uh-huh.
he said, "You're going to do Butterfly. Let's listen to that." And so I sang it for him, and he went, "You can do this." Okay. Okay. Because he said I had a lyric sound, but I had a boom. It was big and different, in the right places. So I
Yeah.
had all the strength and the power in the right place. So he said, okay. And so, so then we started down the road with Butterfly. Yeah. So, but he always groomed me, and we discussed what I should do and should not do. Yeah.
Yes. Fantastic.
And then I
And
had
so,
my manager in New York.
uh-huh.
My manager in
Uh-huh.
New York. They both all concurred. Yeah.
And
So, but it was. Go
who
ahead.
were some of your voice teachers that helped build this voluptuous instrument that you have?
I never took a voice teacher after college.
Wow.
No, I never took a voice teacher after college.
Wow. Now, was that a conscious
Hmm.
decision or a decision that was made with your team?
Yes, because I had gone with a teacher after college, and she in about 6 to 8 months had almost made my voice go away. And my coach talked to me, and I remember Mary Costa, because she used to study with Jack, Mary Costa, and they both talked to me, and they said, you can't stay with this teacher. This is not good." And I remember my manager in New York said, "What happened? What happened? What's going on? You came here with this, and now this." And so after her, when I finally could get out of that, I said no more. And so I just kind of just my coach had a lot of knowledge, and so
Yeah.
I just we would, yeah. So that's how I did it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Divine order. Like it, that's
Yeah.
how it was supposed to happen. That's how it was supposed to happen. And so I have this
Yeah.
thing on
Yeah.
my show called The Receipts. And I go in and I play videos to show people what I've already talked about in the bio. And so we had a clip of your Tosca at the top of the show, but you just
Right.
talked
Right.
about another role that you were so famous for, which was Butterfly. And so I want to play this
Oh,
beautiful Butterfly performance and then have you tell us all about that experience of doing this particular performance
okay.
on that stage. So everybody hold your wigs down because
Okay.
this is amazing.
Guernica di ferro palpitante che il
Lord have mercy. Lord, oh my
Oh,
God. I listen, I
oh,
it's so glorious and so fantastic. Like I cannot tell you. Will you explain to us
oh.
first what it was like singing that with all of those legends right there behind you? Like,
Oh, it was horrible. Oh my God. First, they didn't even tell us that they were going to be there. And when I walked out, I went, oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, all those people were there. Oh my God, it was nerve wracking. That whole day was unbelievable with all the stars that were there and going in the different rooms. And oh my God, it was truly. I remember Kiri Takano was running around getting everybody's autograph, and I wished I had done that. I hadn't thought to do because all those people are not, most of them are not here anymore. How wonderful. Oh my God. Yeah, it was just truly, it was really scary to be singing because I was really, ingenue and I was young and I was so overwhelmed with them being back there. Oh my God. Oh my God. So,
yeah.
but what a day that was. What a day that was.
I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. So who did you choose that piece to sing, or was it chosen for you by the
No,
company?
actually,
Okay.
Jimmy chose everything. Jimmy chose
Got
everything. I was originally supposed to do Trovatore duet with Cheryl, and they scrapped it and then told me to do this. And I was very unhappy about that, but I said, okay, well, what can I do? I have to do the butterfly. So anyway, it was wonderful. I that Chanella, that singer there, that tenor, he bless rest his heart, he's gone to heaven. But yeah, I remember that day when he was singing, he was so nervous. He kept touching me, and I was going, "Oh my God, I wish I know it's in the character to keep touching butterfly," but I was like, "Oh God, I wish he would just let me be free." Because it's a big thing, you know. And so he just kept squeezing me. I'm like, "Oh God," you can't see it on my face, but that's what I was thinking.
Wow.
The time let me go.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I
Wow.
swear, Kenneth, I think today I have some hearing loss in one ear because of Luciano and Plazo and all those singing those notes in your ear. Oh my goodness. Those
All
gorgeous
that
notes, but
rhythm.
it's all going in one. Yeah, because I'm, that much shorter, so they were always singing in my ear. But yeah,
And
that was quite a day. That was quite a day.
and so let me ask
Wow.
you about the three tenors as they're known. Um, you're one of the few women
Mhm.
that has sung with all of them. And they're
Yeah,
all
yeah,
so different and all so brilliant. Um,
yes. Hmm.
what was the experience like? Let's just start with Jose Carreras. What was the experience like working
Yeah.
with him?
I sang with him at Covent Garden and all over, and at the Met we did the Carmen. That's what is on tape to do the Carmen with
Yeah,
Jose, and he was just I went on tour with him with Covent Garden, and he's just a sweet, sweet, sweet man. And actually, when after he'd had his near death experience, I was the first one. We did in Sardinia. We did a recital together. Well, it was it was kind of a recital concert together, and it was his first sing after that. But he was just a sweetheart, and oh my God, his voice! Oh my God, oh my God! I just thought his voice was just outrageously fabulous. He had these sweet, sweet big sounds. Oh my God! Before he got sick, and
yes.
it's just heaven. Yeah, Jose. He's just and his personality was just a sweetheart, sweetheart.
I
And he
can
loved.
imagine.
I loved. He was very dedicated. You could see that in the acting and things. He was really into his part. So, he was a sweetheart. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Placido, I started out. I did the debut with Placido
Hmm.
and with the Micaela, and then of course we sang ballos. I mean, I sang just all over with Placido in many places, all in Scotland, just lots of places with Placido. And then there's
Amazing.
Luciano. Oh well, I didn't talk
And
about
then
Placido. He's not to be. It's the voice is just it's one of a kind, right? Placido.
one
He's
of a kind.
I mean, and then he looked great. And then, I mean, I loved being with him on stage, and he was always so dedicated to his characters too. So it was a thrill to be with Placido. He was, oh, yeah. So we did even, oratorio things together, read requiem, just lots of things. But
Hmm.
Luciano, he was a mess, that Luciano. Um, let's see. I decide what I'm going to say. Um, I remember when I was in San Francisco, we were doing the Turandot, Panel production of Turandot, and Montserrat was making her debut doing Turandot, and I was the Liu. And Luciano, I remember my management and coach, and we all were going to one party. And so Luciano was having this big party, and I just told him, well, I didn't want to bring all these people. I didn't have permission. I didn't think I was just a young girl. And so, but he got all insulted. He thought I was being uppity and I was not trying to come to his party. And we had to get all of that straightened out. That wasn't it. No, I wasn't being,
Oh no.
but he got all upset. Like, who does she think she is not coming to my party? But anyway, he was wonderful. Luciano, when we did Ernani's together, he used to always come into my room and he'd tell me, and we did a film together, We did that,
Yes.
I call it a
I
cult film, Yes, George.
yes.
So we used to get makeup together and stuff. And he would always, I love listening to some of his stories. He told me when he started out, he had no idea he was going to have this kind of career. He was in the chorus, and he just couldn't believe it. And so that's why when you see him take those bows all the time, he really is. He was really grateful because he thought, wow. I mean, I was supposed to just be in the chorus in Italy, like they always. That's what you're in for life. And then he would tell me wonderful things backstage. He was really supportive, really, really supportive, and we miss him, don't we? We
We
miss
do
his
miss him.
sound and all of
Oh,
that.
we
We'll
miss that
have
sound.
it for
It's,
posterity.
it's
Yeah,
the
we
most
miss him.
iconic, immediately recognizable
Yes,
sound, I think, in all of
I
opera.
know. I know. I do.
Yeah.
I agree. I
And
agree.
that you've got to
Yeah.
work with all
So
three
people
of them.
used to, people used to try to put me on the spot. They used to ask me, "Well, which tenor do you like for?" I said, "I'm not going to commit suicide. I will not say who I like to sing with best."
No.
I couldn't believe people would ask me. Oh my God, I like all of them. Yes.
Right,
So
exactly. Oh, the mess, the mess, the mess, the mess. So, I wanted to talk
yeah.
to you about uh, what is it like, or what was it like for you to have been in comparison to Miss Price for so many years?
Mhm.
Did it bother
Yeah.
you? Was it pressure? What?
Well, it was pressure, but I didn't really. She was just, well, for all of us, she's just the queen, and it's no comparison to nobody can compare to that. But I didn't even really realize it was a big deal because I was going in kind of the same repertory, and so
Mhm.
people were. I remember when I first started doing the trovatories and things, they would go, "Why are you doing that? You need to stay in this other repertoire. You don't need to do that." Because I guess they could understand that it was almost too close. People were going to compare. I didn't understand that because I didn't think you couldn't compare to her. I didn't understand what they were saying, but people did do that. And I remember Opera News stated something like that later years on, that they didn't think it was fair that people compared me so much. I had my own sound, but
Yes.
wow, and I was that's scary, trying to compare me to her. I had, she was woo, beyond the beyond, but uh yeah, but I didn't realize it. Yeah, because I was
And I
told,
think
like, once I went to do a Trovatore. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, no, no.
Go
Finish,
ahead,
please
Kenneth.
finish.
Oh, and I had the same costume she had on and things, and I'm going to tell this story here because it's not known. When I was doing Forza at the Met, uh, Jimmy, I'm going to tell on you. He wrote me a letter, and I was supposed to be doing that broadcast, that DVD. And he asked me would I give that up for Madam Price because they didn't have that much DVD on her. So of
Wow.
course I'm going to do that. Yeah, yeah. So because
How
I had the same.
you're blowing my mind tonight.
I know nobody knows this story. My husband knew this story because we knew this story. But
Wow,
yeah. Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's amazing.
And
Yes. That's a
so
story
you
nobody knows. That's just now I'm just saying it. Yeah.
listen and remember where y'all heard
Yeah.
it. Y'all heard it on Black Opera Live. Y'all heard that story. Y'all heard it
Out of my
right
mouth it came.
here. Oh
Came out
my
of my
goodness.
mouth.
How
Yeah.
how big of you and how selfless of
No.
you. You don't think
No.
so?
Oh, absolutely. Wow. With this for posterity, I think I mean, wow. It was my honor. It was my
Wow.
honor.
I mean, I talk to a
Mm.
lot of my colleagues and friends who are sopranos, black sopranos in particular,
Hmm.
and they all feel like
Hmm.
they have this price ghost over them, this price aura. Like
Yeah.
you have to live up to that. But you were probably the
Hmm.
closest in proximity because you were in the
Yes.
house at the same time. You were singing
Yeah.
similar
She was just leaving.
repertoire.
She was just leaving. She was just
Yeah.
leaving. She was retiring, but yeah, and then I came along, about 15 years later or so. But yeah, she was retiring, and I remember I went to see her Forza in San Francisco, and
Mhm.
everybody was crazed because that was
Yes.
what she was. Oh, one of her signature roles. And I was telling her, backstage when I went to see her, she said, well, I'm giving this up. I'm not going to be doing these roles anymore. She was about 57 or 8. And I said,
Uh-huh.
oh, really? And I said, but I'm getting ready to do fourths. And she went, what? You are? Okay. Well, good luck to you, baby.
Wow.
She said, good luck to you. Yeah, good luck to you. Oh,
Good
wow.
luck to you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so
Yeah. So,
I think it's time for a little bit more music. And this is one that you did not send me, but
oh,
I wanted to play because it's for me, it's so beautiful. And it's not from your
yeah.
debut performance, but it's a piece from your debut role at the Met. So beautiful.
Oh,
Je vais
oh.
voir briller tout bas dans les parties qui s'évanouissent, au milieu de la dans sa nuit que
You're just so exquisite. You just
Oh,
are so exquisite
oh,
and so
oh my
beautiful
goodness.
and so committed and so like it's just amazing. It's amazing. And that's why I asked you at the very
Oh,
top. I said, do you really can you feel the love? Because it's performances like that young people see, that other young girls of color and young boys of color see. And it's like, I want to do that because she did that. And she did it so beautifully.
oh, oh, that's wonderful. If you can be encouraging that way, that's truly, truly magnificent. Mm.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
listened to a recital of Latanya Moore's that she did online, and I went, "Oh my God, this is just sensational," you know. And she said, "Well, she listened to me a lot," and she said,
Yeah.
but I said, "Oh my God, this girl's voice is extraordinary, just extraordinary. Oh my God." Mm.
Yep. And Latanya and I, we talked about you
Oh,
a lot.
Lisa. Oh, that's
A, a whole lot.
oh,
A whole lot. There's so
oh,
much
that's
love
wonderful.
coming, and I can barely keep up with all the
Wow.
comments that are coming. It's just fantastic.
Oh,
So fantastic.
oh.
So besides Miss Price, who were some of the other singers that you looked up to when you were coming up through the industry?
Um, for different reasons, probably Leontyne, but Morella Freeney,
Hmm.
she was, because I was when I was doing the lyric things, I was impressed with
Yeah.
her line. Uh, and of course, everybody listened to the intensity of Colors, you know,
Hmm.
her acting through her voice. Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
she was one as well. Um, trying to think. Um, it was different ones for different reasons. Pilar Loringar, these people,
Uh-huh.
I might
Yeah.
have listened, and even before, yeah, even before maybe some of the really older ones, that you could go to and hear them do things. So, but I didn't. It's the old days were not like today, where you can just go pick up the video and go hear somebody. You had to actually go to the library and get the things and do all of that. So I didn't. I purposely didn't listen a lot, and I was
Hmm.
shocked if people compared me to Lynn. I didn't even really listen that much. Like people just tear the records up listening. I did not do that. So I didn't. Once I maybe heard a reference, and then I would just learn it myself because I was told don't listen too much because you need to learn for yourself how to sing it. And so
Absolutely.
yeah, that's amazing though. But I didn't listen that much. I listened later. Oh my God,
Yeah.
to yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Mm.
So are there any particular experiences that stand out in your mind through your travels outside of the Metropolitan that you particularly enjoy? Because
Yeah.
one of the global divas.
Oh, yeah. I was around a lot, but you know where I learned most of my first time that I would do my roles. I learned them in Australia. I was at that company for 25 years in a row, and I
Now,
learned I did my first butterfly there. Huh?
how did that relationship start in Australia?
It started. I was doing my management in Europe in London. We're friends with the management in Australia, and when I went to do audition tour, at 22 or something, I went to Covent Garden, and he was there, and he actually wanted me to come a year earlier. He's the one that presented the butterfly to me. He said, "Can you do butterfly?" And I went, "No, I don't sing that." But then I revisited a year later, and I said, "Oh, I
Hmm.
can do it." And so that started. That was such a success there. That production. And let me just tell you a little bit of background about that butterfly. I had
Yeah.
a friend. My coach's friend was an actor, and he was Korean and Japanese, and he took butterfly with me and worked through it with me. He had me do movements. He took me to kabuki theaters, and I learned an old Japanese dance and thing. So anyway, I learned it just speaking it first, butterfly, before I even sang it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I went around to many places, but Australia was mainly mainstream for me. I did my learned my first forza there. I never got to do at the Met, which I wanted to do so badly, was this Damona. Oh my God, I
Uh-huh.
had such a success with that. But people were not necessarily wanting, a black person to really do that part at the time. Even though Kiri is practically black to me, Kiri Takanawa, she made a success doing it. But for some reason, I guess as they know I'm American and black, and they just said, nah, maybe not. So I didn't get to do the Disdaemona. Oh God, I love that part. And but I did many of my first in Australia. It was a rich, wonderful fellowship with that company.
That's amazing. And you said you were there for how many seasons?
25 seasons.
Wow.
I went there every, and that was quite a travel because you're going opposite, and oh, it knocks you out. But actually, let me just tell people this: if I because I had to sing over there when we're asleep over here, I
Yes.
learned my body clock can actually go there. I would stay there like 8 or 9 weeks. And so if I go past 1 or 2 o'clock here, I will stay up the whole night because my body remembers that time. Isn't that something?
Wow. That's
Yeah, I have to
amazing.
make myself because I will just adjust to being up like that. Yeah, yeah. But that was
Yeah. And
quite a travel. But I love traveling. My dear late husband, he left this world in 2014, but he was with me the whole
mhm.
way from 23, 22 years old all the way up to 60 some years old. But we when we traveled, he was an educator before he became my personal manager. But he used to always make sure. I said, I don't. I think Leontine said she now needs to go back to Europe and visit all the places that she wanted to, be in. Sweetheart, go over there. That's my son. Sorry. And
Hey.
so, hey, Elmer. But I got to do all of that. He would make us go to the museums and all of the places. So I really had quite a wonderful, wonderful time traveling. Oh my God, we'd get in cars and go off through Italy and France and Germany and wherever I was. And so it was a family gathering, with my son. And so I had a wonderful, wonderful time traveling.
That's great that you had
Oh,
your husband with you through all of that. I mean, I'm sure it had to have brought a great sense of comfort
oh,
and took off some of the,
calmness and
yeah.
pressures. Yes, absolutely. It was wonderful. I remember we were good friends with Joan Sutherland in Australia. And so we would often have dinners and wonderful evenings together outside of opera. So
Yes,
I had a lovely
yes.
time there in Australia.
That's
Mhm.
fantastic. Now, there are so many people in the chat room talking about how gorgeous you look and wondering how you stay looking so gorgeous and more gorgeous now than ever before. Let the children in on a few of the secrets that we talked about before we got on the air. Tell them what you do to keep Leona looking so gorgeous.
Oh wow! I said, well, because we were talking and we're talking about health, and
Yes.
so I cut out sugar out of my diet 3 years ago, and lots of carbs and things like that. And then I walk every day. We walked, my husband and I. We always have been walking. I've always kept that up. And so, I told you I will be 73 in October, and so I'm just glad to be here. Period. Period. Just glad to be on this earth. So, yeah.
Listen, that's amazing. So get to walking, folks, and cut out that sugar and those carbs, and you can maybe look a little bit
Cut
like
the
Leona.
sugar cost. Oh,
Listen,
oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm
if
so
you're what
grateful to
73
God for
looks like, then
everything.
I
Oh
can't
my.
wait to get there. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm just grateful. Just grateful for every day, really tell you. Oh God. So
Fantastic. Now, people will start an entire insurrection on me if I
mhm.
don't talk to you about this iconic performance of Liu in Turandot. What was
Oh.
it about
Mm.
the role or the moment that you feel that made her so much a part of who you are and why we defer to you when it comes to this role.
Mm. Uh, Gosh, wow. I didn't know that was going to be that way, this way that you would defer to me. But at the time, I remember, I had done the Turandots over different places. But at that moment, it just, Zeffirelli's production, and it was such a heightened sense of excitement going on at the Met for that production. Everybody was so excited to see it happening, and it was in the air was such excitement. I can't tell you, and I was just so happy to be a part of that. And I remember Paul Pliska, who was sitting with me. I was so excited. I remember I was hyperventilating before I sang, and I remember Paul said, "Calm down, Leona. It's okay." He whispered that to me. Thank God. Because I was just feeling that all of this excitement. I was like, but I did calm down. Oh my God! But it was quite a exciting time. Oh my God! The people were just
They were
so excited
outrageous.
about that production. But
Like,
I just happened to be at the right moment in my technique and age and a thing. I think it just kind of mellowed and blended at that moment. And when I really
mhm.
relaxed, I think it was just the best I could be at that moment.
Listen, it was the absolute
I
best. Like,
think.
I unfairly judge people. If it's not like Leona's, I don't want to hear it. Keep it to
Oh, that's
yourself.
so sweet.
If you can't do it like, if you can't sing that like Leona, go
Oh
somewhere else.
God.
So
Oh, that's
I have been advised that we
oh,
need to look and listen to some of this iconic
okay.
performance.
Okay. Oh my God, Placido.
Leona,
Oh
Leona,
my
Leona,
God.
Leona, 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 Leona. I listen. My VHS tape got so warped from me rewinding and rewinding and I just I still cannot get enough of that because it
Oh.
seemed like all the stars were aligned. And for me,
Mhm.
and please take this the right way I'm saying this to the universe. You made everybody around you sing better. You made that beauty was contagious around you. It was just
Oh,
absolutely stunning.
wonderful.
And
What a
and
compliment.
and what
Mm.
also brought me to tears watching that video was at your curtain call, you were so genuinely moved, but as this tidal wave of applause, and to see
Yes.
you receive that was so
Mhm.
beautiful, so incredibly beautiful.
Mm. Oh, wow. I haven't looked at that. I have to look at that. Because you know what? People don't have to like you, and it's overwhelming when they really, really show love. So it's just and you know what? A matter of fact, that end of that part, I remember my sister next to me. She really had a wonderful alto mezzo voice, but she studied a little bit, but she didn't go. But she said when she finished seeing that, she started crying because she said, "Oh, it seemed like you really died." She thought I was. It made her so sad because she saw her sister like that, and oh God, I thought that was wonderful. She said, "Oh, I was just crying because I was like, oh my God." But
Yeah.
yeah, everything was aligned. It was, you know, singing, and then I could bring my pathos or whatever I do in acting to it. So,
Yes, and
mhm.
I wanted to ask you about that because every nuance from the first act to the third
Yeah,
act is so real
yeah,
and so honest.
yeah.
You know, your interactions
Hmm.
with Paul Plishka in the first act just so beautiful and honest. And then I think that
Yeah, yeah,
beauty
yeah,
and honesty it comes out in the vocalism.
yeah. I was really into it, and and it came out because I was really, involved in the character. So, and then I
Yeah.
was free enough to, I guess, with my technique to let it go. So it kind of meshed together, I guess.
And so
Hmm.
where do you remember where in your 18 seasons at the Met did this come? Beginning, middle,
It was
end?
toward probably toward the end because that was in 80. I don't know what, 88 or 80 something.
Uh-huh.
So I
Okay.
was at the Met until 93. So it would have
Gotcha.
been directly almost. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So I
So
was.
I want to ask you, uh, and feel free to answer or not. But I think
Mm-hmm.
it's always been curious to me. A couple of months ago, I had on Barbara Hendricks, Roberta Alexander, and Harolyn Blackwell, and
Oh,
I
oh
had them.
God.
I had them on because in January 1989, the three of them plus
Mhm.
Hilda Harris were all in Le Notte di Figaro together, and never
Oh
before
my
or since,
God. I didn't even.
yeah. And it was one
Oh my
performance. It
God. I
happened.
didn't even know
It
that.
happened by
Oh
divine
my
order,
God.
and it never
Yes. Oh
happened
my goodness.
again.
How wonderful.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
at the time, there were so many black singers at the Metropolitan. You included, you and Florence Quivar and all the
Yes,
aforementioned
Stevie Piazzo,
ladies,
all of us.
all of you,
Yes, yes.
and then
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like all of you just disappeared.
I
What
know.
do
I
you
was telling
know?
my husband that I was like when I was looking at the Metropolitan Opera book, I went, "Hey, look at this, Elmer." I said, "Look how many blacks are at the Met." And then we were like saying, "Oh my God," we were marveling at that. And then they started kind of rooting us out. It was like we were taking over, I guess, because they
Wow.
started moving us out of there. I was like, even black men, I was like, "Look at this, Elmer. Look how many's on the rostrum at the Met."
Yeah.
And then you're right. And then it just, yeah, because it was, I was, yeah, it was amazing. I was in '93. I was expecting to, because I, what Placido, they got to do their 25 years and all of that. So I thought I was going to be doing my 25 years,
Hmm.
and but I was told not about my singing, but they just didn't. What was the reasoning? And Kathy went the year after me, and then Jesse maybe two after that. But I was told they had differences with my something. I don't know. Not about the singing, but something. It wasn't clear, but they weren't going to have me back again. Yeah,
That is
it was
absolutely
shocking
outrageous to me. A crime
because I was
against
still singing.
humanity.
Yeah, I was still singing up and until my 50s. I was still singing. All of us, we were.
All
So it was shocking.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, all of you
Hmm.
were. And it
Hmm.
was not lost on society. It was not lost on the audiences of
Okay.
this sort of mass
Yeah, because
exodus.
people used to say, "What happened to Leona Mitchell? What happened? She fell
Yes.
off the earth. What happened?" Yeah,
And then we would
yeah.
see you performing in other parts of the world, but not here in New York.
Right.
And
That's right. Mm-hmm.
and so
Yeah.
what hmm, how did you as a career woman handle that? Was it
Mhm.
just, okay, they don't want me anymore, I'll go
It was
somewhere else?
bad. Well, and that's what had to happen. You had to go elsewhere. I did a lot of things in Europe, and I went over to. I did a lot of things. I did about five different seasons in Rio, not Rio, but Argentina, Buenos Aires, and
Yes.
I had to go wherever I had to go, and yeah, it was really sad, and particularly it was bad because I was told when I was singing, what was I doing in Australia at the time? Which role was I doing? I was probably doing,
Was it Elisabetta? Don
I
Carlo?
can't remember, probably Tosca's or Tosca's. Yeah, Don Carlo, maybe. I was probably
Hmm.
doing that.
Hmm.
And this lady from America came up to me. I was in between rehearsing. And she said, "Oh, Miss Lee, oh no, oh my God, you sound so wonderful." And we were told that you were retired. And I went, "What?" And she had gotten this officially from some professional person. I went, "What? No, I'm not retired." I was shocked. And so that was the word that was gone out so that I wouldn't be asked around the United States, even.
Wow.
And that I had lost my voice. I had lost my voice and I wasn't singing. Yeah.
And none
So
of
that
which
was the
was
tall
true.
tale they told. None of it was true. Because there are tapes of me all over the internet singing in the '90s. They were saying my voice was destroyed and gone, but it was not true.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was
Wow.
really, I don't know. We live in this complex world, and people have their own reasonings why they want things a certain way. You know what it is. We have our.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, and so yeah. So, and we were talking. I said I would bring it up to you on here. I was in with that, and because I didn't have a recording dossier, and with records at the time,
Hmm.
uh, it was easier to dismiss me than Kathy or Jesse. Because I didn't have this recording dossier, but I didn't have it because there was an all-out. I'm going to say it out loud here. When I went in Opera News and said, where were the black men and all of this, manager came running to me. "Oh my God, why did you say that? You're going to be blasphemed out of opera. You shouldn't have done that." And it started a division about me, about she's too knowledgeable. She shouldn't be jumping into politics. She shouldn't be jumping into this. She should just sing. And so then the record company said it's too hot to touch. And so I didn't get my recording career started because of that.
What what a
Hmm.
crime and a shame. I mean, I'm honored that
Yeah, but that's what it was.
I'm honored that you felt like you
Hmm.
could express that now, and I'm sorry that that took such a
Yes.
horrible turn for you then. But
Oh, yes, it did. It took a hard. Hmm. But
you
because
know,
thank God there are videos and tapes of people that took things when where they weren't supposed to, so people get to hear what I was doing at some of that time. So thank
Yeah.
God for that. These pirated videos and all of that's around. So otherwise, it wouldn't be very much. It would have stopped right, at that Turandot and those. It would have just stopped. And that's odd, right? I mean, if you're at the top of your game and then all of a sudden you're just not there. Mm.
And all because you spoke up and spoke out about wondering where the Black men in the industry
And
were,
that's why
because
now
and
it's just now
and
happening. You guys, I'm so proud of you now. Mm.
and I have to say, on behalf of all Black men, I think that they will allow me to speak and say thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, because I took a
And
bullet for that one, boy. They were like, "Oh my God, oh my God, how
and so
dare you say that?"
all the Black men out there under the
Mm.
sound of my voice right now, make sure you send Leona some love, because that was huge. That was huge, because not
It
people
was
weren't
huge at the
looking.
time. It was huge.
People weren't searching for Black men at the time, because then it was Leona
Oh
and
no,
Kathy and Jesse and Harolyn and Florence
oh
and
yeah,
Barbara and Roberta and Osceola and
yeah,
Harolyn. You had all of these women
right,
everywhere, but there were no men.
yeah,
And Leona spoke
yeah.
up for us.
Just
And
Simon here, and
yeah,
yeah,
just Simon
yeah.
here and there. And he had to fight for the things that
Mm.
he got. And so
Oh, for his life, and he never got his. Yeah.
absolutely,
Whew. Yeah, it was
absolutely.
really, really amazing. Kevin Short,
I listen,
Kevin Short said, "Thank you, T." Oh God! Because I remember they were almost like the Black men when I would go around New York. They were like, "Oh, Leona, thank you, thank you, thank you." Because I mean, they didn't have a voice then. They did not have. They did not have
exactly.
it, but I paid for it.
And we're just
Oh,
starting
I
to
paid.
see and feel the fruits of that.
Yes.
We're just starting
Oh
to
my
see
God,
it.
I'm so excited. Oh God. Oh, and because the talent is you guys. Oh my God, your voices are just so phenomenal.
Listen, I almost had a heart
It
attack the
makes me
other
so
day
happy.
when
Mhm.
you commented underneath a video of mine on Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, Leona
Oh no,
commented
it's too
underneath my
fabulous.
video.
Oh no, it's too phenomenal. You're wonderful. Oh my God, I'm just we. Oh, thank God they are. Letting you guys in because wow, what a wealth of beauty and sound we bring to this field. Oh my God. Oh my God. God is so great. Oh.
So great, so great.
Mm,
And you
mm.
were, you're just a shining light for all of us. And again, this next video, like if I did not
Oh,
play
we have
it,
something.
we have something. This is not one that you sent, but if I had not played it,
Okay.
I would have been
Hmm.
attacked like the Capitol building.
Oh. Okay, what is it? Oh my God, what is it?
I would have been attacked. Now this one, this one,
Mhm.
you I'm gonna say it right now. You got some explaining to do after this. I, it's
Okay, I
one of
don't
my
even know what it is. Oh my God.
it's one of my favorite things to watch. It's one of my favorite things to listen to. I
Oh,
scream and holler and throw things around my house when I listen to this, because you did some hollering up in here.
oh my goodness. Oh, okay.
Good God Almighty! Good, I
Ernani.
Ernani. Leona, I cannot tell
Ernani.
you. I think I've watched that at least 10,000 times. You
Oh,
you
that's so fabulous.
sang you sang the walls
Oh
off of the
God.
theater. Were Luciano and Cheryl upset with you after that because you sang them?
Oh God. Oh God. It was just, oh my God. That was another splendid time because oh, when you have those great singers with you, oh my God, it just spurs you on. It's, Cheryl was just at his best. Oh, he was at his peak. Oh my God. Oh my God. He was just phenomenal. And Luciano, I mean, but it was just one of those nights. I was trying to have fun with another interview I did the other day. I said, that Ernani was amazing because I had all these men. It's the four characters, and they were all in love with her, Elvira. And so I said it was something about Mary because they all were in love. They were all in love with her. So I had all of these men. It was just fabulous. It was just, oh, I just thought it was just the most gorgeous. And you know what? We did tours those time in the United States. And so I toured with that. At that time, I was 4 weeks pregnant with my son. And then as the tour went along, I went up to my 8th month. And I remember the conductor was like, "Are you going to have that baby on stage?" I was singing up a storm. I sang to the 8th month. Oh my God. Yeah, but
Wow.
Ernani was just because it was so stellar, the cast. Raimondi was a bass. Oh, it was just glorious to be in. And actually, we loved that opera, my husband and I, because it was just, people were always surprised when we went on tour because the music is so, enduring.
Yes. And it seems to just fit
Hmm.
your voice so well. Like you
I
just
loved it. I
soared
love
over
doing that.
like, oh my God. And you could tell on Maestro Levine's face that he was just in heaven when you were singing.
He told me later on. He said, "And when I want to listen to something and be happy, I pull out the Ernani. I listen to that Leona. I
Yes,
really love
God.
listening to it." He said,
Yes,
"That's
God.
one thing that I really love to listen to." Again.
It is
But
such
yeah,
a
that was,
tremendous,
ooh, it was special. It was a special time. Oh my God! Wow, that singing around me. Oh my goodness.
it's delicious.
Mm.
You made
You know
you
what? Let me tell
made
you.
them step up.
Oh God, what's funny? What's funny about it? Like a lot of those, it's because it's a big ensemble piece. So a lot of those ensembles, the sopranos just singing all those high C's, just going all up over in there. And so Luciano, the Italians, they never learn those big ensembles. So because they had the camera in his face, he was forced to have to learn some of
Oh
it.
no.
It was so fun. He's going, she's not going to keep singing all those high C's, is she? Yeah, anyway. Oh
Wow.
God! But anyway, he was forced to some of them. But yeah, it was a great time. Boy, I can't take anything from those moments. Oh my God! Oh, those moments.
Now,
Mm.
whose advice or whose idea was it for you to take on that role? Because it's
My
not
coach
one
and I, because
it's not one
it was
that's
never done before that much there. Hmm.
yeah, people don't do it very
Yeah,
often. And
yeah,
then, you go
yeah.
and because
Jimmy wanted me to do it. He
yeah.
wanted me to do it. So I learned and I did it. And then I did it around Italy and different places too after that. But yeah, so Jimmy, he's the one that wanted me to do it. And let me just tell you a little something. When I was going to change into the Verdian and the heavier Verdian roles and things, Jimmy would have talks with me. He'd go
Uh-huh,
to
uh-huh.
dinner and he was trying to direct me another way. He wanted me to be more of the big lyric and do odd roles that were, he thought that would be something, and he probably was right. He wanted me to do the Barded Bride and things like that. He was really upset I didn't do the Barded Bride. And
Hmm.
but he said okay, and that wanted me to do a lot of Mozart, which is I've done, and it's good for my voice. And So he wanted me to go that way, and so then he relinquished. And okay, okay, well, if you really want to do this other, okay, yeah. So
Wow.
that's how that came about.
And what I mean,
But he suggested me on.
it's amazing that the two of you had that collaboration and trust in your relationship to
Hmm.
say, "Hey, I'd like
Yeah,
for you to do this," and then for you to have an opinion that is then listened to and valued, and say, "Well, I'd
yeah,
like
that
to
is
try this."
amazing. Yeah. So
Amazing.
and then he said, okay. Yeah, it really was. It was a very close, relationship. Because Jimmy, when I started going there, he that's when he came in too, Jimmy, and then Kathy came in like 2 years after me. So
Uh
that's
huh.
when all of that started with design. Yeah, he said he could hear the party cry. Yeah. So, but you know what? I never did stop doing bohèmes and things because I thought you needed to keep the leggero, that lighter sound in. So I never stopped doing them as I was doing the other. Hmm.
And then you also move
But
your
not as
voice so beautifully.
Yeah, I was shocked about that too because I never had done that much. And when I took on the Ernani, let me just tell you this. I had sung the Ernani. That was what I won the San Francisco Opera audition with because I was doing that aria. That would be my aria that I would do. And actually, when I did that audition when I was 22, I remember Phone Carrion and all of them were there, and they were like, "Well, are you doing Aida?" And I went, "No, I don't do Aida." And I was like, because they heard that Verdian sound, and I went, "No, I don't do that." And matter of fact, Phone Carrion got a bit upset because he really wanted me to go immediately with him over to Vienna, as he heard that Ernani, and when I was 22, but I refused. Yeah, I
Uh
wouldn't do
huh.
it because I said I'm not ready. And when I would go through
Wow.
Europe, because I had a hefty lyric, and so they were always really trying to push me in Aidas at 22 and 3, and I wouldn't do it. I didn't do it until my 30s.
Good for you.
Hmm.
Knowing your voice and
Hmm.
knowing, listening to your
Yeah,
conscience.
yeah. The German and European countries, they want to, if they hear any heft in your sound, they're going to push you in maybe something heavier than what you should do.
Yeah.
So I just didn't do that though. But I still got
So
flack for doing it even when I did it.
I bet,
So yeah.
darn if you do, darn if you don't.
When you said you had the coloratura and things, I didn't know that I had, but I did do the Ernani, so I knew I had the ability to do it. So, but
Hmm.
I enjoyed learning all that and you know that side of my voice in exploring that side. Yeah. So, matter of fact, you have to go listen on YouTube. Somebody put a Costa Diva on there and I do it with the cabaletta, and I do it just
Ooh.
almost like Bill Sutherland. So you have to go look that up.
I
It's
will go
Costa
and find
Diva
that.
under Mitchell. Yeah, I
I,
really wanted to do Norma. I wanted to do Norma. I learned it, and I just didn't that I didn't get a vehicle for it. But I really wanted to do Norma. At that
hmm.
time, I had it was in my 40s. I could do the coloratura, and then I had that heft that I just really wanted to do that. All that lyric singing in there, and it was just I loved Norma. Mm,
Yes, indeed.
yeah.
I would have killed to have heard the normal.
I had done.
Baby.
Ooh, mm, that was amazing. Costa
So
Diva. Yeah.
let me ask you this. You do so many things so brilliantly, and your artistry speaks for itself. Have you have you ever had a desire to go into teaching or coaching or any of that to pass some of that along?
Mhm. Well, I've done master classes and I love master classes,
Hmm.
but I hadn't gone into the teaching. I heard you say something about that. I just don't. I would love to impart, but I impart, I think, better with coaching, and I'd
Hmm.
rather do that than teaching. For me, that it's exciting for me to coach. I love to see. I think I listened to one of the videos with your Short, Kevin. Is it Kevin Short?
Kevin. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Who's the baritone? Yeah, yeah. Where he was talking about, he was trying to talk you into teaching.
Yeah.
You said you weren't really inspired to do that, and I thought I kind of understand that. But for me, I love master classes and I love coaching. So I like to get more into that. I love to see the response when they can understand what I'm saying. I really have enjoyed doing that.
Yeah. Fantastic. And now some people
Hmm.
have already gone and found that Norma and put the link into the
That Costa Diva, honey. I love that. Oh,
when I tell you, I'm telling you, people love you so much. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
oh,
So very much.
that's
So
so
out
wonderful.
it
Yes.
really it's amazing. You are a living legend and a treasure.
Oh,
A
you
treasure.
just, oh, you made my day. Oh my goodness. You made my day. Thank you
So
so
let me
much.
ask
Oh
you
my
some
goodness.
non-musical, non-career
Hmm.
questions. So what kind of a girl are
Hmm.
you? Breakfast, lunch, brunch, dinner, or dessert?
I'm definitely not breakfast because opera. You learn to have that schedule where you're up so late at night and eating at night. Oh my God, it's horrible to wretched to get up in the morning. But yeah, I'm more of a dinner person. I'm more of a dinner person.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
And what's one of
Yeah,
your
as a matter of
favorite
fact,
meals?
my family last. What do I like to eat?
For
Oh,
dinner. What's one
what
of
you
your
mean
favorite?
meal? Well, nowadays I just eat a whatever. I sometimes make you don't eat meat, but I make meatloaf and like spinach and salad and things like
Listen, if
that.
you made
So
it, I
that
would
that's
eat it.
kind of my son loves
If
it's
you,
so
if you
good.
made it, I would eat it.
And then I do ooh, and then I make some chili beans. That's outrageous. Mm, so delicious.
I love
So
that. Next time I'm in
delicious.
Oklahoma,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come by when this virus is over.
Okay. And then one of the my family likes because they're all cooks naturally. I was traveling. I just learning to cook now, but they love my baked beans because I would really. Mm, that's really good baked beans.
Okay, come on,
Mhm.
baked beans. I'm gonna have to try
And I'm
those too.
learning actually. Okay, but actually, I've in the last 3 years I've learned to cook with almond flour and coconut flour. I make all kind of breads and biscuits, and I've become this little chef. I'm just
Yeah.
experimenting. Yeah,
Hey, Miss
yeah, I love
Elvira
that. I'm just,
Green.
oh, Elvira! I love Elvira. She was on tour with me. Oh my goodness, that brings back a lot of memories, darling Elvira.
Yes,
Oklahoma
indeed.
coming.
So, is another
Elvira, yeah.
question for you. Is there anywhere in the world that you love so much that if we were not under this quarantine, that you would just pick up and go to visit?
Mm. Well, I
Anywhere in your
miss my
career that
Australia because I made quite, yeah, but I love my Australia because I made great friends over there and it's like a family. But I love Paris. Oh,
Mm.
I love Paris. I love the food. I love the shopping.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Tobias Pickner, he did that. He said I went between the recording, then I was shopping, in the Galleria in Houston. But I love the Champs Elysees. I was wouldn't. My husband says, "No, you've got to stop going on that. Stop that, Leon, because I love to stay in."
The Champs
I was
Elysees
on
is,
that Champs Elysees.
it's a
Oh my
dangerous
God!
place
Yeah,
to
I love
be. With a,
Paris. It's one of my
if you got a working credit
with
card, that's a dangerous place.
it was awful. I actually had rented an apartment on the Champs Elysees. I was just right there, and I was just always a basket case. Oh my God.
Oh my
Yeah, that would
God.
be one place I would jet off. Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
To
Now,
Paris. Paris.
if
Oh.
if any of my friends in the chat right now, if you have a question for Miss Mitchell, put it in there and I will ask her if you have any questions for her. Um, so before any of those come up, I wanted to ask you, what are you doing now? Are you still singing? What is this phase for Leona Mitchell?
Okay, I'm gonna blow you guys' mind. I'm gonna blow you guys' mind. I'm looking at jazz right now. You like jazz? I've done some things. Go on YouTube. Listen to Sway. You'll hear it, and it's all in the. It's a contralto sound. It's
I
amazing.
love it.
I'm enjoying.
So, so can we expect
So
a tour
go to
of one
YouTube.
night with Leona?
Yeah, I'm talking to an agent in New York right now. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. I've been doing some programs around the United States where I do have a little bit of opera and a little bit of Broadway, and then I end with jazz. So it's interesting.
Oh, that's so fantastic.
But I'm
Yeah,
absolutely when my sisters heard me, they were like, "That's you," because they've always heard me way up there, and I'm like way down there. Yeah.
that is amazing.
But
So we
please,
can,
everybody, go listen to that. Listen to Sway. SWAY. It's
y'all heard it.
one of my signature pieces that I like. It's
SWAY.
called
Go on
Sway. It's
YouTube and
totally
find
not
it.
operatic. Yeah, it's jazz, light jazz.
But
So
as
I like.
Black
I mean, that's really
people,
interesting.
as Black people, we can do so many different things, particularly as it pertains to music.
Yeah,
Like our voices don't just do one thing.
right, because we come from certain backgrounds, and so
Yes.
yeah, we were maybe growing up in that, and so anyway, that's what I've been interested in. It's kind of fun.
So, okay, a young aspiring soprano wanted to know what role did growing up in the church play in your artistry?
Absolutely everything because I was, my dad's church and you were being put up. I was actually the choir director and my mom played the piano. And so you learned how to use that as a force so you weren't afraid most of the time as you sang because you were being put out there on display at a very early age. And, to not be shy and to be forthcoming like that. So, and then the church also gave me, I think, stability because as we are religious people basically, and so when things are all going as they say the ship is going everywhere and different things are happening, you have to really call back on that faith. And so I think the church set me up that way very well. Preach, kid.
And
Somebody said, but yeah,
that's
yeah, and it's
a
meant a
good,
lot too because it's been comfort. The
yeah,
church, the God, yeah. Mm. Hmm.
amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, that's my friend Janina Burnett. She's a glorious soprano, but she also sings jazz like nobody's business. Just amazing. So you
Oh,
are,
really? Well, I
yeah.
knew it when I sang opera. I had a friend, and I don't know if she's listening. Her voice was phenomenal, coloratura, but she couldn't decide, with the technique at the time. Would she do jazz way low, and then she sing, Zerbinetta? So then it didn't blend because you have to really decide which one you're going to do because to do it at the same time is hard. I wouldn't have done that at the time because I think you have to
Oh,
stay true to one.
my friend Patrick McCoy brought up an artistic moment that he experienced with you, where you sat down at the piano and accompanied yourself in recital.
Yeah, I did
Wow.
How Great Thou Art, how I do it automatically, and I played for myself. Yeah, how I used to do in
Wow.
my church. So, yeah, he was shocked. He was shocked because I did the recital, and then at the end I did. That's the only time I've ever done that though. But I went and sang How Great Thou Art, how I sing it. Mhm.
Amazing. You
Did a
should
few
do
high
that. You
A's
should.
and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So.
Yes, indeed. Anybody else have a question before? There's so many singers in here that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I'm curious as to how Miss Mitchell approached her artistry and taking her music to the very special place. That's a question I have too. Um, do you completely sort of disassociate from Leona in those moments to then allow Liu or Leonora or Aida to take over? Like, what is that process for you?
Yeah, I think I do, but I had to get to that spot because I think you have to be very secure in your technique because you can't just go off like that without really knowing how you're going to, sing. So I had to be very secure in my singing because I would let my of course we all did acting and blah blah blah, but you let your soul take over. But you have to be very secure, else you can't do that. It's impossible. It's
Yeah.
impossible. So yeah, because I mean, you guys have to see me in those at that time when I was basically more secure in the technique, and so I could let go and be involved in those characters and do that. As a matter of fact, when I did Aida's, I did over 200 performances, but I did some in the Ginza in the and wow, and we were out in the pyramids, and I couldn't believe it. It overtook me. I was just stunned. I mean, that Aida for me was, uh, I felt like I really became Aida. It was just amazing to
Wow.
me because
Wow.
I with all those Egyptians, the real rich, and it was just an amazing experience for me. And
Yeah.
when they wrote in the newspaper, they said, "Welcome home, Leona."
Oh,
Me being black.
oh,
Mhm.
my goodness.
Welcome home. Yeah, and that was a quite an experience. Wow.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
somebody wants to know, what was it like going from singing Liu to singing Turandot?
Oh yeah, because I only sang Turandot maybe about 30 times because
Oh, just 30 times.
at the because all my other performances are like 200 but yeah, I really wanted to essay that part. What I really wanted to do, because I'd done the Liu, I really wanted to do it at the Met. I really wanted to come because it's so opposite than what I did. And when I did it, I loved it because it was different for me. But I essayed it and I loved it, and wherever I did it, they loved it. So yeah,
Yeah.
and it was yeah, it was amazing.
Did
Yeah,
you sing along
but
to
I had to watch myself. Yes, because I had to watch. I didn't sing.
Yeah,
It's the real truth. I had to sing. Oh, sing that part.
I bet. I
Yeah,
bet.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So my good
yeah.
now
It's like being.
my friend Shannon, he's a fellow baritone, amazing baritone, and he's one of the people who would sit with me in our rooms and watch you over and over again, and has a question for you.
Wonderful. Yeah, which was my favorite role to
Hmm.
sing. Um, yeah. Uh, I always found that difficult to say. People would ask me that because I would get involved in whatever role I was in. And so for me, it wasn't a favorite. It was whatever I was doing at the moment. I
Hmm.
loved Butterfly. I loved Bravo. I loved, Liu. So I didn't make a favorite. It's just whatever I was doing at the moment.
Is there something you did where it was like, oh, I don't like her, I don't want to do that?
Let me see. I don't want to do that anymore. Let's see. Did I have any role like that? Oh, it was cute. When I was first starting out. Gosh, I can't even remember what it was. Carol Neblett was in it. Oh my god. And I just had this small part, and then I kept walking on stage, and the people didn't know I sang. And then when I sang my line, the people jumped like, "Oh my gosh, she sings! She sings!" And I thought, "Oh, I don't want to do this part. This is really weird. I don't want to have to do that again." I can't even remember what it was. It's one of those. It wasn't Popeye, but I can't remember what the name of it was. But I did a small part. But that was hilarious. The people jumped like, "Oh my god!" because the sound came out booming, and she
Yeah.
sings. So
And
yeah,
your
but
concert career too. This is a really good friend of mine, Chauncey Packer, a fantastic tenor.
oh,
And wanted to talk
oh,
about your Verdi Requiem that you did all over the place.
yes, all over the
And
place. Oh, that
did
was
you
special.
look at
I loved
did
it.
you look at the Requiem like one of the Verdi roles, or could you separate it?
To me,
Yeah.
no, to me it was. It was just speaking through God's word, though. Yeah. Lacrimosa di Sila. It's just a spiritual experience. The
Yeah.
lines are incredible. Yeah. So yeah, it became experience, especially when I sang with my Florence Quivar.
Oh,
We would, oh my God.
don't you just
Oh my
love her?
God. We
My
did that.
God.
Yeah, we did with many symphonies, the LA Symphony, the blah blah Symphony, and when we were together. Oh yeah, you know what? Florence and I did. Oh, and I have a little tape of it, but I don't have. We did a the Butterfly duet stuff with the Cincinnati Symphony, and oh, when she, oh my God, it's just
I wonder
extraordinary.
if they have
It
that
is.
in their
It,
archive. You should get that from them.
it was a Cleveland orchestra, actually. I really
Cleveland.
should. Oh my God, Florence and oh my God, it was just. Mm. And we
Oh my God.
also Florence Vincent did a trio. We did a concert in France, and I don't know who has that, but boy, that was amazing. That's when I first did the I took the Norma trio, and I sang that. Vincent said, "You got to sing that high D or something." I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna sing it," and I did.
But
We
of
had a
course,
ball
darling.
together. The trio, Vincent Cole, Florence Quiver, and myself. Oh,
So, what is it like being able to sing these amazing roles and having a good girlfriend like Florence, who's just as amazing to sing that
hmm
with you in so many different places? Like, what is that like sharing the stage with a good girlfriend?
oh, see, that's why I didn't even really want to sing it with anybody before, because she brought such gorgeousness to it. I just only wanted to do it with her. I went, oh my God, and when you say she made you step up, and I remember Florence gave me a talking about Leona. This is serious. This is very serious stuff. We're doing. We can't play around with this. So yeah, Florence, we did lots of oratorio together, all over.
Yeah. And did
And
you
then
you
she
did
came to the
uh-huh.
she came at the Met. And we did ballo together, and maybe some Aidas. I'm not sure, but yeah,
Did you do
but we
dialogue
did a
together?
lot of. No, I was in another
Mm.
cast.
Uh-huh.
I was
Gotcha.
in the other cast with Regina Prescott, and she
Gotcha.
was. They asked me to give that up. That was supposed to be on my TV too. They gave it to Jesse
Oh my
because I
goodness.
had done that. Yes, yes. So I had to make a choice to do that one or Turandot, and I chose Turandot because they'd already
Gotcha.
given me so many video. So they said, "Which one do you choose?" I said, "I'll do the Turandot." Then. Thank God. So.
Well, you made the Met video experience what it is for me. Like they can HD themselves all they want now, but it was all about Ernani and Liu and Carmen and
Oh, that's so sweet. They can HD themselves. I can't. That is so cute.
they can do all the
But
HDs
you
they
know
want.
what?
I was
It was I mean, being there with Luciano and Pavarotti and Luciano and Placido and those and Joan. I mean, it was really a phenomenal time that is just in my heart. Oh my God.
and it
To
was
have
a
been a part of
time
that has been
it was
extraordinary.
it was a
Mm,
time for me and for my
mhm.
buddies Karen and Shannon. It was a time when it you all were informing our tastes and what it was
I see.
like this is what
Mm,
greatness looks and sounds like.
mhm.
Like that's what you
You
all
know,
were
and
for.
that's why it's important for young people to go and hear instead of just looking on these DVDs because the sound. I don't mean to make disparaging remarks or anything, but it's very different when you're in a theater hearing people and then hearing it on a DVD. It's quite a different
Absolutely.
sound. And I don't know some of the things lately. I'm just wondering, like, is that really the sound that you're supposed to be having at the Met? Because if it's small, I don't know. It should be more intimate places. So sometimes I'm like, some of this lacking to me.
Yeah, there's no substitute for live singing, and I honestly cannot wait till
Mhm.
we get back to it, like full
Oh
fledged
yeah,
live singing in
yeah.
the theater.
absolutely, absolutely. Oh wow, would be great.
Now, have you been
That would be
doing
great.
virtual offerings performance wise?
I know because I've been working on this other little stuff, and so I'm just I'm preparing that, and when I do, I will. Yeah,
Okay. Well, we will
yeah.
be on
So
the lookout.
yeah, that's what I'm working on. Okay, okay.
And I listen, I'm putting out in the air that it's going to be a world tour, one night with Leona, and you sing anything you want to sing, and it's going to sell out all over the world, and that's what it's going to
Yeah,
be.
we're talking. We're talking. We're talking. What did women say? Two voices, two different things, because it's a big combination of things. One word,
Uh-huh.
one voice, two girls, or something like that. I don't know. We'll have some kind of way we're saying it,
Uh-huh.
but yeah.
Oh, my
But
friend
anyway, it's
Robert,
interesting.
my friend Robert wants to know, would there be a book?
A book.
Would you write
Yeah, well,
one
they're
about
working on a documentary. This documentary, they've been working on this documentary of me for about 5 years. So we're trying to still get that together. And
uh-huh.
yeah, some people have approached me about a book. I just we were putting my soul into this documentary, so hopefully that will come out soon.
Because so much of what you said tonight, baby, that could be in a book. Because you dropped some bombs on me today.
I know.
Like
I
I
know.
never would have guessed that you only coached and then after school didn't have a voice teacher like that. Kaboom, and then to give up those two video performances of Carmelites and Forza for Jesse and Leontyne,
Mhm.
like kaboom, kaboom. Like these are the stories that nobody knows, and that you obviously
No,
have in
no. Yeah.
that you could write
Mm.
chap those that's
Yeah,
4 or 5 chapters right there.
they've done some little books here in Oklahoma. And this a guy came and did I call it a quick thing, but yeah, and I need to do that. I really do because like when Jackie did her book, and it's because we all have our own story to tell, and so
Yes,
and you see it through the one person's eyes, and I'd love to do that because there's a lot of backstage drama that one could talk about.
I bet. I bet. And see, in your book,
Yeah.
you can name names.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to be sued. I have to make sure. Oh gosh.
I
Wow,
love it.
name
I love it.
names, huh?
You could name
Yeah.
names and tell the
So
stories. That would be amazing. And so, can you? I would be remiss if I did not ask about motherhood and how that infused your career, and what was it like
yeah.
singing after giving birth and then traveling
Oh
with your
God.
baby, and all what was that like? Because there are a lot of women out here today who want to be a
Mhm.
mom and also want to have a career, and you did it at the highest level imaginable.
Yes, but I have all of my other singer friends go, "How did you do that?" Because they can't imagine, because it's so selfish. Our careers, you have to take care of yourself so much. And I did sacrifice a lot having a child. I came from 15 children, so I wanted children. But you know what? At the time, who was it? Kiri and I, not Kiri adopted. She told me, Leona, why don't you go get those kids instead of having them? But anyway, she adopted. But she said, but no, it wasn't Kiri. It was Flicka. Flicka and I. There was an article written on us about how we travel with our children and boogies and milk and I have that has to go in the book. All of that drama about this baby and me and having this baby. But I tell you, it's been tough, and I
Yeah,
see why. I love my son. I love my son, but I see why people say it's more than a notion to want to have a baby and a career. Renee Fleming has done it.
hmm
Who is it? The Russian soprano. She has a
Oh,
son.
Netrebko, uh-huh.
The Yeah, the Trapco. But it's more than an ocean.
Did
It's
it
a divide.
did it
It's a divide, and
did it affect your voice in any way? Did it get bigger or darker or warmer or
well,
higher? Or
I'll tell this one story. I will tell this one story. I was supposed to, it's 6 weeks, go back and sing Butterfly at San Francisco Opera. And I was too weak. I could not, my stomach muscles just went kaplum. And I was too weak. And when, oh God, he was so upset with me. He says, "You shouldn't be having babies." I can't believe somebody say that to you, but they did. And he was so upset. He had to do his season around again. And but I was really too weak to go. And then I had to pace myself because it really did take a lot out of you, regular birth. And and then I think it also probably thickened my voice a little bit. I think
Hmm.
that's me feel. And
Yeah.
so I had to work out from underneath that. It just
Yeah.
felt, yeah, these ladies. It felt like my stomach just went somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, I had to rework that.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
you said you sang
But
up
yeah,
until
it's
eight
it's it's
months?
it's yeah yeah. I was on an airplane flying around with the Met, and it was miserable. I was thinking I can't do this anymore. Thank God it was the last one because I was having that baby that next month. So, but yeah, and I wouldn't take anything for him and the experience, but I had to, because they're babies. They're gonna have earaches at midnight. You can't get all your rest, or they're teething or whatever. So I had to just adjust to everything. I mean, I used to have this strict schedule. This was my discipline as a singer. I didn't speak to anyone after 10 o'clock at night, and they couldn't. I didn't speak the day of the performance. I learned that through my university, Miss Silberg. And so, my parents, I don't care who it was, they would have had to die because I was not going to talk to them. And my poor husband, he always had to fill the calls, you know, to say she's not, she's performing. So, but
So
I had
you,
to get with my baby. I had to talk, and it went out the window
yeah.
because I mean, he can't go anywhere. So that changed a lot.
Wow.
But it was
Wow.
a big load. It was a big load. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. It was a big load. I remember once he was about 3 years old and he went in the refrigerator and drank some Dynatab, whatever it was called, and I had to rush him to the hospital to get his tummy uh, pumped.
Hmm.
And then we had to be on the plane to Brussels or somewhere, and I couldn't get any sleep. Those
Wow.
kind of things. So it's really, it's a struggle. Life goes on, with these kids. And then it was a struggle because I was traveling still as he went to school. And so I put him in private schools in New York when I was there. And the poor baby didn't get to participate, because he was with his mom up until about 12. Then I put him in regular school. But yeah,
Wow.
so it's a difficult decision. I think Carrie and not Carrie, I keep saying Carrie, but Flicka, they had more of a prolonged schedule at the Met, and so they raised their kids in New York. And I think Fleming did that. But me, I was all over the place. I traveled 300 days out of the year
Wow.
for
Wow.
30 years. I did. We were always. Once I looked back at a schedule, and it made me so exhausted. I was like getting a fitting at the Met, and then I had to go do an interview because you do all these interviews and things like that. And then I had to be on, because the TV or whatever, blah blah. And then you had to go to rehearsal at the Met, and then I'm talking to the next people because at one time I was booked 5 years in advance, always.
Ooh. And so,
And I only didn't do 3 performances out of my whole life. I never canceled. I was known as you could count on
wow.
Leona. I don't care what was going on. I never canceled but 3 times in my life.
Three
One was at the
times in
Met, and they
30
were
years.
mad at me. Whoop! Because I thought I was going to, that I had to cancel. And I was traveling all this time.
Yeah.
One of my friends said, "Leona, what are you made of? Because you could do all of that and still be healthy with your baby and everything." But I did it. I did that.
And see, these are the stories that folks don't know. I mean, you're traveling 300 days
No,
out of
yeah,
365.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't think singers do that now, but that was back then. We didn't take
good
vacations.
Lord. Good
Mm-mm.
Lord. And with a
I'd have
baby
three
and a
days here,
husband.
3 days there. Oh, yeah, going through time zones and one of the horrible things was when I'd have to do opera and then go to another country and I was doing a recital or a thing and I'd have to pack bags. I didn't have a chance to go back home. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh, the logistics of that was amazing.
And then you show up and you look beautiful and you sound great, and people have no idea what
Oh
you
yeah.
just been through.
Yeah. Right. Just to get there and get that gown on and sing. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Quite
gosh.
a-
Well, Leona,
Yeah. I
we
don't
have
think
been,
the singers they take vacations now. Oh, sorry.
some of them do. Some of them do. I
Yeah.
believe Renee
That
Fleming
are really
used to
busy.
do that. I don't think she does that anymore.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
that's a lot. That's a
Mhm.
lot. And so, were you in these
Woo, that
300
sounds
days,
great.
in this span of time? Were
All around
you
the world.
how were you inserting new repertoire in that? Like, how did you carve out
Yeah.
time to learn something new when you're on this wheel?
Um, well, I think I've got the majority of the stuff. Like for instance, if I was at the Met, I remember this. I was doing what was I doing? Man, let's go. But I remember my coach kept saying, "We've got to go over this. You got to learn this." But you know what, Kenneth? He told me. He said I was a fast learner. And so I could let me tell you this one story, and then I know it's getting really we're really talking too long. I'm a fast learner, which was so fantastic because I did have to learn a lot at one time. But I was in the Maryland program, and I did get sick. I got laryngitis, and so I couldn't coach. They were teaching me Donna Anna, and so I went to the apartment with my little piano. I learned the whole role in 2 weeks, and I came back, and Kurt Adler said, "What? You know this role?" I mean, I knew it by memory. So he gave me his conductor's award because
Wow.
he had never seen a singer. But I could learn fast, so that was a good thing. But I remember I would take time, if I was at the Met and for 8 weeks, and then my coach sometime would go to these countries with me, and he'd coach me.
Yeah.
I was learning something in Australia all the time. Yeah, so I learned Don Carlo with him at the end while I was doing something else. So yeah.
Wow.
I had to learn
Wow.
some things in 2 languages too. Don't call her in Italian and French. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Madame Lee, I learned it in French and English. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So listen,
Yeah.
my dear friend Afton Battle, who is the new general director of Fort Worth Opera, Black woman, fabulous, has just said
Fabulous.
uh, she wants to, when you're ready with your jazz show and your jazz cabaret, you come to Fort
Uh-huh.
Worth Opera and put it up.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So you heard it
That
here.
sounds fabulous. We'll stay. All right. That'll be fabulous. That'll be
You heard it.
fabulous. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic,
Okay.
Afton. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
I'll come and MC and
Okay.
warm up the crowd.
Oh yes.
Oh, and
No, that'll be
Marvis
wonderful.
Martin is sending you some love.
Oh, Marvis, I love you. Sending it back to you. One memory comes back. We were holding hands listening to Leontyne one time. Marvis and I. Because Leontyne was sitting crazy trying. Yeah, okay.
I love it. Well, Leona, I've had you for over 2 hours. I could talk to you forever and ever.
Oh
But
my God.
I wanted to
Oh my.
thank you for spending this time with me and for closing out my Black
Oh.
History Month of interviews on such a high. I'm grateful for
Oh.
you. I love you. I admire you. I hold you in such high regard, and your artistry and everything about you is just something to aspire to. And you're a shero of mine. You really are.
Oh. Thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate it so much. It touches my heart deeply. Thank you. And you guys just keep going on and doing it. It's just too wonderful. I'm just so proud. Thank you for
Yes,
having me.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, Leona, don't sign off. I'm just going to say bye to everybody here first, and I'll
Okay.
say goodbye to you when we
All
get
right.
off the air. So everybody, listen. Thank you
Okay.
so much for rocking with me all Black History Month. March is going to be a little crazy because he's getting back to work a little bit and have a lot of singing projects and filming projects coming up in March. And so just watch out for the dates for the interviews. I'm going to give y'all some March. It's just not going to be every Monday because I got programs to learn and contracts to fulfill. Daddy's got to work because he
Good.
likes nice things. So,
Good.
but thank you so much for making Black History Month so special. And remember, I'm going to be in touch with all of you about this amazing project that Denise Graves is doing with the Denise Graves Foundation to resurrect the Mary Caldwell Dawson National Negro Opera House in Pittsburgh. So you will be hearing from me in regards
Ooh.
to that as well. And Leona, I'll talk to you about that too, because we would love to have you involved as well. So be on the lookout for that. And everybody, thank you so much. And continue to celebrate Black history, not just in February, but all year long. And check out Leona's YouTube clips and look out for her jazz show that's going to open at Fort Worth Opera that Afton's going to produce. I love it so much. Thank you, everybody. Wash your hands, wear a
Thank
mask. Let's end this pandemic. And God bless you and good night. Thanks, everybody.
Good night. Good night.